Scarlet Park, Bubba Sparks.
Booty, 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 rockin' everywhere. Booty, 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 rockin' everywhere. Booty, 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 rock.
So sometimes medical assistants are usually just there to pretty much listen to. A lot of clinical medical assistants, even while doing anything clinical, the majority of the time you're listening to the patient. Like, say for instance, you can go in there and just get the blood drawn. Like you could just go in there to get the blood pressure. Half of the time, the patient's going to talk to you the whole entire time while you're taking that blood pressure. And I'll just be like seriously, like I have to get the accuracy as far as for this reading. Like, just be quiet. All right, so you have CMA, which is going to be certified medical assistant. You have MA, which is medical assistant. You have RMA, which is registered medical assistant. Now CMA and MA are kind of like the same. And then you have CCMA, which is certified clinical medical assistant. So that's how that pretty much goes as far as for the abbreviation. So now let's get into the video to talk about a little bit more in depth as far as for the medical assistant. What's up YouTube, it's Desi and I'm back with another video, y'all. So in this video I'm going to talk about the different types of medical assistants. If we narrow it down, it's mainly CMA, RMA, CCMA, and those are the top three. So this video is basically going to be which one is the best type for you as far as for your medical assistant field. Which one should you enter to, which one should you go for as far as for the certification. So let's get right into the video. CMA. So CMA basically means certified medical assistant or clinical medical assistant. Clinical medical assistants perform tests, record results, and also may give instructions to the patient. Sometimes of certain things that I do, because I'm pretty much a clinical medical assistant, what I pretty much do is any orders that the physician gives me, I have to make sure that I do it. So say for instance, if he wants me to call advanced diagnostics or precision imaging or something like that for the MRI report or something like that faxed over, I'll make sure I call them. If he wants me to call Walgreens and have me cancel out the gabapentin script and let him know and whatnot, I'll make sure that I do that. And you know, it's just certain things. One of the major things that a lot of clinical medical assistants do is take vital signs. You mainly take vital signs, do urine drug tests, UDT. Also, you'll make sure that you call the patients, make sure you just let them know that they're aware of their appointment, let them know if they have any copay or anything like that. Just pretty much basic when it comes to clinical medical assistant. The medical assistants also works closer to the providers. Like I said, we follow behind anything that the provider or physician pretty much say. Another thing is that you'll be dealing mostly with the sensitive side when it comes to the patients. But however, clinical medical assistant, I pretty much feel as if it's a lot more easier. A lot of people tend to go for administrative medical assistant, but clinical is if you're just trying to get your hands-on experience and whatnot, I think clinical will be a better side for you. Now moving on to administrative medical assistant. Basically this will be the organized part as far as for medical assistant. You'll be dealing with a lot of paperwork, a lot of phone calls. When I tell y'all I don't see how people do it, I like getting my experience as far as for front and back office. Mainly clinical is back office medical assistant, administrative is front office medical assistant, but you have to have a lot of patience. But administrative medical assistant, basically you just have to make sure that you're up to par with the organization, with the office. It doesn't always necessarily mean paperwork when you're talking administrative, where really it does. But however, it just means that you work with people. But that's everybody in the field with medical assistant. You're always going to be working with someone. If you're an administrative medical assistant, communication is the key. When I tell you, you have to be able to talk to these insurance companies, get the information you need, also be willing to deal with the patients even when they don't even want to pay the copay. You still have to be able to have that communication where you could talk to them and let them know, like, look, if you take care of this now, maybe we could settle something out or something like that, you know, because like with this coronavirus going on, a lot of people have been struggling to pay their copay and premium and balances and whatnot. And when I tell you, the front desk gets told a lot of smack, and I just be like, oh my gosh, I couldn't do that every day. It's really stressful. But everybody's experience is different. A lot of people tend to like administrative work more than clinical work, so everybody's experience is different. I just know with me, I don't have patience over the phone. I don't have patience, none of that. Like, I like to get the information and just go about my day. I don't like to just go back and forth on the phone. The majority of the time for administrative medical assistant, you'll be the first person who the patient sees when they arrive. So usually when you come to the office, the first person you'll see when you go into the room will be the medical assistant, because the medical assistant will come in there and take your vitals and whatnot. But when you first go to the office or practice, you'll always talk to the administrative person first. So make sure that you remember that. Next, you have the specialized medical assistant. So for the specialized medical assistant, this is pretty much like the travel medical assistant. You're pretty much specialized with a certain bracket, I would say. So say for instance, specialized medical assistants pursue additional training or education to go beyond of what an actual medical assistant does, if that makes sense. So say for instance, now I have seen some YouTube videos where some people are travel medical assistants or travel phlebotomists and whatnot. I would say you're pretty much specialized, or you're more so on the float team, because you're kind of like, you could be anywhere at any given time. It's kind of like an on-call thing. But say for instance, you could be a specialized medical assistant for cardiology, handle what you need to handle for cardiology, and then you get a call for someone and emergency room, and then you got to shoot way over there to go handle what needs to be handled over there. So specialized medical assistants pretty much be everywhere. Pretty much I don't too much like the name specialized medical assistant, because every medical assistant specializes in different practice, but pretty much travel medical assistant, that's pretty much what you'll be doing. And the last one will be registered medical assistant. So registered medical assistants, pretty much they go beyond of what's asked for. You do get paid more when you're a registered medical assistant. Those are usually the medical assistants who have like a degree or anything like that, and they do have certain routes that you could take where you could become a medical assistant and you could end up, you know, getting a degree. But me personally, I think the certification is just enough. I mean, if I want to get a degree, I better be a nurse or something like that. I mean, getting a degree for medical assistant isn't as bad, but you got to think about it, like, I don't know. It's just, to be honest, I'd rather just get a degree if I'm nursing. Medical assistant is just a quick field to kind of get my foot wet. It's not nothing I want to stay a longer time in school for just to get average money. But registered medical assistants, they've been going beyond their way as far as for medical assistant. They perform both clinical and administrative work. Registered medical assistants, I would say, do a lot more administrative work than clinical work, because you're dealing with a lot. Like, you could probably end up doing medical billing and coding. You could probably deal with a lot of ICD-9 codes or whatnot. Probably dealing with a lot of pharmacy calls and whatnot. It's just a lot that you can do, but it's a lot that you're entitled to as well too for being a registered medical assistant. So I feel like that's good as well too. So if you guys don't too much know the abbreviations, CMA is certified medical assistant, RMA is registered medical assistant, MA is medical assistant. I'll be sure to leave everything down in the description box for you guys.